The market on Zorath 7 was a labyrinth of rusted stalls and flickering hollow signs, a melting pot of species from the galactic fringe. The air buzzed with the drone of hovercarts and the chatter of bartering aliens. Amid the chaos, a human boy, Eli, barely 12, wove through the crowd, his patched jacket too big for his scrawny frame. His quick hands slipped a data chip from a vendor's table, a desperate act to trade for food. Commander Krax, a hulking Vorath warlord, spotted him. His crimson scales glinted under the neon lights, and his 4 eyes narrowed. Krax led the Vorath enforcers, a brutal militia that ruled Zorath 7's underworld with iron claws. "Thief!" he roared, his voice rattling the stalls. Before Eli could run, Krax's massive hand struck, sending the boy sprawling. Blood trickled from Eli's split lip, his data chip skittering across the grime. Eli scrambled to his knees, defiance flashing in his eyes. "I didn't take nothing," he spat, though the chip lay in plain sight. The crowd, merchants, spacers, and lowlifes from a dozen worlds, watched in silence. Humans were scum here, Deathworlder origins or not, and no one crossed Krax. Krax loomed, raising his claw again. "You'll learn, human filth." A voice cut through the din, sharp as a blade. "Hit him again, and you're done." Jessa Tor, a human mercenary, stepped forward. Her leather duster was scarred from blaster fire, her dark eyes locked on Krax. Her hand rested on the grip of a pulse pistol, and the crowd felt the shift, like a storm about to break. Krax sneered, his mandibles twitching. "You challenge me, Deathworlder?" Jessa's lips curled. "I don't challenge. I end." 10 minutes later, Krax's head hung in the Galactic Council's chamber, a grim warning to the stars. Jessa Tor was no stranger to the fringe. Born on Earth's brutal outlands, she'd clawed her way up through pirate dens and war zones, her name whispered in fear by those who crossed her. Eli was her shadow, a kid she'd found starving on a derelict freighter. She'd taught him to survive, but Zorath 7 was a predator's playground, and Krax was its apex. The Warlord's attack on Eli wasn't just personal. It was a power play. The Vorath enforcers had been squeezing human traders for months, extorting credits and crushing resistance. Krax saw humans as weak, their high-gravity origins a myth exaggerated by desperate spacers. Hitting Eli was a message. No one, not even a child, was safe. In the market, Jessa knelt beside Eli, checking his lip. The boy's eyes burned, not with tears but with anger. "I'm fine," he muttered, brushing her off. Jessa's heart twisted. She saw herself in him, a kid forced to grow up too fast. She stood, facing Krax. The Warlord towered over her, his enforcers, 6 Vorath brutes, flanking him. Their claws gleamed, and their pulse rifles hummed. The crowd backed away, sensing blood. "Walk away, human," Krax growled, "or die with the brat." Jessa's hand hovered over her pistol. "You shouldn't have touched him." Krax laughed, a guttural rasp, and swung his claw. Jessa moved like lightning, ducking under the strike and drawing her pistol. A single shot burned through Krax's shoulder, the smell of charred scales filling the air. The enforcers roared, charging, and the market became a battlefield. Jessa dove behind a stall, dragging Eli with her. Pulse bolts scorched the metal, and screams echoed as the crowd fled. She fired back, her shots precise. One enforcer dropped, clutching his chest. Eli, crouching low, grabbed the fallen data chip and stuffed it into his pocket, his hands steady despite the chaos. Jessa fought like a demon, her Deathworlder reflexes outpacing the Voratha's bulk. She rolled under a claw swipe, blasting another enforcer's knee. A third caught her arm with a grazing slash, blood welling, but she didn't flinch. She slammed her pistol's grip into his face, dropping him. Krax, enraged, charged through the fray, his massive frame scattering debris. Jessa met him head-on. She ducked his swing, slid between his legs, and fired upward, catching his thigh. He staggered but didn't fall. She needed to end this fast. Jessa grabbed Eli and ran, weaving through the market's alleys. The boy kept pace, his breath ragged but his eyes sharp. "We can't take them all," he said. We don't have to, Jessa replied, her mind racing. Krax's base was a fortified spire at the outpost's edge, a hub for his enforcers. She had a plan, but it meant calling in favors, dangerous ones. She activated her comm, sending a coded signal to her crew, a tight-knit band of human mercenaries scattered across the fringe. They were Deathworlders like her, forged in Earth's crucible, loyal to a fault. Within minutes, replies pinged back. Rana, a hacker with a knack for cracking alien tech. Torv, a heavy weapons specialist with a cybernetic eye. And Lila, a pilot who could thread a needle through a supernova. They met at a derelict hangar, the Fong, Jessa's battered corvette, waiting in the shadows. Jessa laid out the plan. Hit Krax's spire, take him out, and broadcast his fall to the Galactic Council. The Vorith were a Concord-sanctioned militia, but their corruption was an open secret. Jessa's crew would expose it brutally. Eli, patching his lip with a med strip, spoke up. I'm coming. Jessa hesitated, then nodded. Stay close. You're not bait. You're backup. The strike was surgical. Lila flew the Fong under the spire sensors, using Rana's hacked codes to disable defenses. Torv's heavy cannon cleared the outer guards, while Jessa and Eli slipped inside. The spire was a maze of steel and neon, Vorith enforcers patrolling every level. Jessa moved like a ghost, her pistol silencing sentries before they could raise alarms. Eli proved his worth, his small size letting him crawl through vents to disable security grids. Rana's hacks opened doors, and Torv's explosives cleared blockades. They reached Krax's command chamber in minutes, the Warlord waiting with his elite guard, 10 Vorith armed to the teeth. You're persistent, Krax snarled, his wounded shoulder braced. But you're still just human. Jessa smirked. That's enough. The fight was chaos. Krax's guards charged, their rifles blazing. Jessa's crew fought as one, their Deathworlder endurance outmatching the Vorith's brute strength. Torv's cannon roared, blasting 2 guards into the walls. Rana's drones jammed enemy comms, sowing confusion. Lila, perched in a vent, sniped with a stun rifle, dropping another. Jessa and Eli faced Krax. The Warlord swung a vibroaxe, its hum filling the air. Jessa dodged, her pistol firing, but Krax's scales deflected the shots. Eli darted low, tossing a flash grenade from his pocket. The burst blinded Krax, and Jessa seized the moment, vaulting onto his back and locking her arm around his neck. He thrashed, claws raking, but she held tight, her earthborn strength crushing his windpipe. Krax fell, his body crumpling. Jessa drew her blade, a quick cut ending him. The guards, seeing their Warlord down, faltered. Torv and Lila mopped them up, leaving the chamber silent. Rana hacked the spire's broadcast system, linking to the Galactic Council's chamber on Core Prime. As the Council, elders from 100 worlds, debated trade laws, Krax's head appeared, a hologram dropping at their feet. Jessa's voice followed. This is what happens when you touch our kids. The chamber erupted, but the message was clear. The Vorith's corruption was exposed, their militia disavowed. Jessa's crew vanished before Concord ships arrived, the Fong slipping into the void. Back in the fringe, Jessa's crew regrouped on a hidden asteroid. Eli, his lip healing, trained with a small blaster, his aim sharp under Jessa's guidance. The crew toasted their victory, their laughter defiant. The Concord tightened its grip, but humans were rising, their reputation growing. Eli looked at Jessa, his eyes older now. They'll come for us, won't they? She ruffled his hair. Let them. We're Deathworlders. Krax's head, broadcast across the stars, was a warning. Harm a human child, and the galaxy would burn. Jessa's crew was proof. 10 minutes was all it took.